Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. So very honored to be with you today. How are you? How do you answer that question? How are you? How are you right now? How are you feeling? What's on your heart? What's in your mind? I really want to know, how are you doing right now? And if you were to check in with yourself, if you ask yourself this question, do you focus on what is important in your life in the moment? Do you focus on that? Do you, if you tell yourself the absolute truth, do you really focus on what is important in your life? Or are you like most people? And I'm going to raise my hand and say, I've made this topic today because I realize that often I find myself in the position of getting distracted. That's why I want us to focus on don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. So how often do you feel like you get distracted in your day? From the moment that you get up until the moment you get back in the bed, as you move through your day, do you have a plan? Do you think about what you're going to do for the day before you enter the day? I was given this advice many years ago to physically make a plan at night for the next day so that when you wake up, you're executing the plan rather than creating the plan. And when I'm doing well, when I'm on my game, I do that. I sometimes write it down. If not writing it down, I sometimes will I go over it in my mind. What is it that is important for me to do? I review my calendar. And honestly, in the best of worlds, you do look at what's happening the next day, but also look out further. What's on the calendar for this week? What's on the calendar for this month? What's on the calendar for this year? What's on the calendar for your life? How are you spending your time? Are you making it count? I say that at the end of every broadcast to make it count. Are you making your time count? Are you accountable for what you do with your time? What stands in the way? What gets you distracted? So there are so many things right now. And my friend, the fashion designer Donna Karen, spent some time with her the other day, and she talks about this all the time. She talks about these devices as possibly the worst thing that has happened to society. Now, it's a double-edged sword. It's amazing that you could have a computer in your hand and that as long as you have access to the internet, you can connect to just about everything. You can do research, you can call people, you can see people, as you call them, anywhere in the world. It is amazing that this tiny device is capable of doing all those things. What it also is capable of doing and what it does is to distract us from what is on our list. And those distractions can be all consuming. The way that the internet works these days, we've heard a lot about algorithms. You are interested in something, you look that up, and it is going to feed you endless amounts of content that are in that same vein. So not only is it keeping you attached to whatever the topic is that has your fancy at the moment, it's pulling you into this space and the time evaporates. And how did I get here? How did so much time pass? You know, a lot of people talk about children being consumed by video games. I want to look up the stat because I'm telling you, adults are also consumed by video games and puzzles and all kinds of things. And it is true that some of them are good for the mind. You want to exercise your brain so that your memory is good, but for how long? How do you allow yourself to be distracted? I really want you to think about it. What do you allow in that gets you diverted from whatever it is you said you were going to do for yourself, for your life in this moment. I want you to ask yourself these questions and not to beat yourself up, not to end up feeling bad about yourself, but to be aware of how you spend your time. Because when you're aware of it, then you can make a conscious choice potentially to do something different. By the way, any of you, if you want to talk about this topic, which is a hot topic for many of us, you can join this conversation. You can go to my website, harrietcole.com/inspiration, and come on the platform with me and talk if you'd like. And it's fine if you just want to stay engaged in the way that you are. But this is an interesting topic, so maybe somebody wants to join. harrietcole.com/inspiration. Uh, I was thinking about this because, for myself, when are the times that I allow distraction more than others? When I feel tense, when I'm worried about something, when there's something heavy on my heart. The worry part, huge. If there's something that I'm unsure of, don't know how to figure out, I'm puzzling through and don't have an answer, then what happens? I I play my word games, right? Or binge watch something on TV. Let's see. Parent Allen says, "Amen, amen. You're right. This is real. This is real. This is real. We get distracted easily, and the coming back to center, coming back to focus, deciding that we're going to focus on what we have told ourselves is important, is being a conscious being. We don't have to just allow ourselves to be derailed. That is not something that we have to do. We can make the choice to come back to center, come back to center. Oh, I went off down that path. Let me come back. Oh, what time is it? How long have I been doing whatever this thing is that is a distraction? Stop. This is what we tell children. In fact, there are boundaries that you can put on electronics, on televisions, on other electronics, and a lot of parents do this for their kids. So, oh, you only get an hour of screen time. Have you ever done that for yourself? Have you? I think it's really interesting if you give yourself the boundaries that you would give your children because you know that they are wise. Oh, I see my friend Epson. Hello, my brother. This is so important, isn't it? I see you in your studio making all these incredible designs. I want to know, what do you do? What's your distraction? Because I see you in there focused, but we all have a distraction. For all of us, look to see, what is your distraction? What do you do instead of what you're supposed to be doing? And how often do you do it? And can you stop? Can you put on the brakes for whatever this habit is that you have developed and instead come back to center? So, one way that I've learned to do it is through meditation. Meditation helps you to gather all the energy back inside, and then you can listen quietly to that voice inside that tells you what you're supposed to be doing. It's you telling you. And oh, what have I been doing instead? I don't have to keep doing that. I can replace that habit with a good one, with the focus to get to next, whatever that next step is, right? Yeah, and let's see. Michelle Wilson says, staying in your light, staying in your light. See, that's another one. As I was looking for quotes about focus and what we pay attention to, there was another one that was really good that talked about living your life, not someone else, right? And so often we don't do that. I see someone is joining me. Let me tell you what the quote is before we go to it. It's Pamela who's joining us. Let's look at the quote that I chose for today. Wherever you are, be all there. What? Wherever you are, be all there. Think about that. Sit with that for a second. This is from Jim Elliott. Wherever you are, be all there. How often do you say, "Yeah, I'm all in. I'm doing this thing," and you're not? Whether it's a project, a job, a task, a relationship, whatever it might be. Are you all there when you say you are? Powerful, right? Let's bring Pamela on. I see she came in. Anybody who wants to join in, remember harrietcole.com/inspiration. Pamela, are you there?
Good morning. I am.
Good morning. How are you? You don't want to turn on your camera?
It it just doesn't work.
Okay. Well,
Thank
hello.
you.
How are you? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So what does this bring up for you? Because this is a hot button for a lot of people.
For me, it brings up accountability. I
Mm,
cannot make excuses for not being present. Sometimes we're doing so much and then doing nothing. Um, Especially after the election, what I have done is reassessed, recalibrated where I am, what do I want to do, who do I
mm.
want to learn from. I show up as a student in life, so this is one of my classes, as you know. So
Yeah.
I show up as
Well,
a
thank
student.
you for that. Yep.
Thank you for making this available. So am I where I say that I want to be, and I become accountable for my actions. And becoming a better person takes work. It
Yes.
it it takes grace, and it takes a level of honesty and resilience. So I'm
Mm.
working on being where I am. And right now I really am committed to being here, learning. I have my notebook, my journal, and we all a work in progress, but I'm evolving, and I'm happy about it.
I love that understanding that you can't just do the work and then it's done and you're finished and you're all set. It is ongoing.
Yes.
It's ongoing. Even when you are doing an excellent job, you still can't stop.
Mm,
It's like if you stop exercising, your muscles atrophy, right? Same for the spirit, same for the mind.
mhm.
And it's a fascinating thing because I think a lot of times people think, "Well, I put in the work. Why isn't it working?" Well, it's constant. It it's
Yes.
it's and as Jim Elliott says, "Wherever you are, be all there."
Yeah. Yeah.
How often do we get distracted? I
Mhm.
mean, it's so easy. So, what would you say? What would you say, Pamela? Because I know you are focused. You're focused on you and your spirit. What would you say is your number one distraction?
I think that you can relate to this, and maybe your listening audience. When you're multi gifted, without arrogance, when you're multi gifted, it's very challenging to, for me, it has been, but it's not. Since the election, it hasn't. Because mm, I want to answer your question. What is my major distraction? What has been my major distraction? Being there for everyone and not being there for myself. But I'm no
Mm,
longer doing that. I
mhm,
am I am committed to saying no, even to that giver in me, and really recognizing that if I want something to come to pass, I've prayed about it. I'm showing up as a student. It's like cooking. I love to cook. If I'm the main ingredient, well, God is the
mhm,
main ingredient, but I have to give him something to work with. And I cannot ask him to say, oh, okay, well, send me teachers. And I'm sitting at the feet of Harriet Cole. He's sitting at the feet of someone that inspires me, and I'm not showing up. So that main distraction can be a lack of discipline. That's what.
mm.
And I've learned that discipline is as important, if not more important, than motivation, because I'm a spirit led person.
Absolutely. And you said a lot of things in there. I will So yes, when we tend to care for everybody else first, we get
Mm,
exhausted. But you
mhm,
said another thing that I wanna, build on a bit. When you are multi-talented, which many people are,
mhm,
you can get distracted by building multiple talents at the same time. If and I definitely am guilty of this. "Well, I wanna do this, I wanna do this, I wanna do this." And as a creative person with responsibility for the people who work for me and my family, I wanna be able to do these things, and I need to be able to have enough financial resources to take care of everyone, and, it's in business, it's sometimes is a roller coaster, things are up and down, and so a distraction that I sometimes have that I know others can, especially people in creative fields, is, "Well, I'm gonna just do everything, and if I do everything, then it's gonna be okay." So that comes from, deep feeling of lack. Well,
mm,
it's not gonna be enough, and as much as and I'm speaking about myself now, as much as I have faith and I have commitment, sometimes I have that feeling of, is there going to be enough? So I know that's a spiritual struggle, and also it's an actual struggle. If you don't have the resources, then what are you gonna do? It's both
mhm,
things, and what but I have learned if you focus on one thing at a time, then you get things done. And by the way, I should tell this to you and to everyone who's connected. I did something last year that was so incredible for me, and it was to create a 100-day plan. And I I conjured up. I asked my spirit, "What am I supposed to be doing for the next 100 days?" and made a plan, and what was on my list is happening. And
mm,
some of them were really big things. And so I'm offering a course, a 100-day plan course, through Dreamleapers, and, it's going to start in March, and maybe my producer can put it up here so people can see. Um, it's live on the internet. We'll have 3 sessions, and I'm inviting people to join in community as we ask our spirits, "What is it that we wanna do?"
mm,
And really, what are the big things we wanna do, and claim it and make a plan to make it happen, and because it did manifest for me, and I don't call myself special any more than anyone else is. I do call myself special, but not more special than someone else. Because it happened for me, I know it can happen for you. So, this is also part of don't get distracted. Here it is, the 100-day plan, manifest your dream in 100 days. And the goal is to turn your vision into reality with a strategic step-by-step action plan. And you can sign up through my website, harrietcole.com, 100-day plan. And for this 3-session uh, experience, it's $99, which is
that's excellent.
virtually free.
Yeah,
Um, I normally charge a lot more, but I want everybody to have access to it. And so I'm hoping that people will sign up. It worked for me.
mm, I'm in. Okay, I thank you so much. I
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for bringing your wisdom onto the platform. We appreciate you.
thank you so much.
All right. And I see my friend Sekou Wright says, I was asking what gets you distracted. And Sekou said what he needs to do is stay away from IG. Well, I'm glad you're here for the moment, Sekou, but I understand what you mean. Actually, Sekou, you said something to me a while ago that I want to share with this group because it was you had a strategy for how not to get totally sucked in, which I think is clever. You told me that when you are surfing, especially for, like, Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, whatever, a streaming platform, that rather than watching the whole movie or series, you watch the trailer. So you might watch X number of trailers, but X number of trailers, which is just a few minutes each one, is so much less time consuming than a 90-minute hour and a half long film or hours and hours long television series. I thought that was a brilliant idea. You can get your fill a little bit. Oh, this is interesting. I like this. But you can also stop because it's short. So I love that that was a solution that you told me that a while ago, and I really, really appreciate it. I want to go back to something that my friend Michelle Wilson said, staying in your light. So, and Sekou says he still does watch those trailers. Michelle talks about staying in your light. How often do we think, well, if we could just get a little of somebody else's shine on us, it would be better. FOMO, fear of missing out, is so real. That person over there seems to have a much better life than I do. If only I had that. If only I could do whatever that person is doing, my life would be better. The if onlys will get you. That is a not that's kind of going against the quote of today. Let's go back to that quote. If you are wanting to live somebody else's life, you're not living your own. So wherever you are, be all there. That means you can't be all there if you are jonesing for somebody else's life. What about yours? How deeply have you committed to your life? How could you potentially commit more to your life? What about your life can you pour into more? I've talked to a number of young people because I'm constantly mentoring, teaching, sharing. That's part of my responsibility in life, I believe. And I was at a conference, at the ColorCom conference last year, and a young woman came up to me and she was asking me some questions, and I was giving her some advice that she had requested because I realized you don't just go around giving advice. If people want it, they will ask. And she, at the end, she said, "Thank you for pouring into me." And it was sweet. So, A, she wanted the engagement. So I wasn't just dumping on her. I offered her enough, not too much of whatever it was that we were discussing. And she acknowledged it. And she said, "Thank you for pouring into me." I want to know if you pour into yourself. And do you do it on a regular basis? How often do you give yourself what you need? How often do you turn that lens at you and make sure that you are doing what you need to do in order to be full, in order to be healthy, in order to have peace? And when you don't feel peace, what do you do? Because all of us have moments when we don't feel peace. I mean, I had plenty of them just over this past weekend for a number of different reasons. And what I did when I realized it was to snatch back the energy. Okay, stop, stop, calm down, pause, recalibrate. I'm looking, hi, Sandra, checking in from London. I'm so glad people are giving a big hug all over the world. Thank you for being here. How often do you stop yourself when you realize that you're in that distraction, when whatever you're doing is not in alignment with your spirit, not in alignment with where you're supposed to be headed? Can you grab back the energy and take a deep breath and be present, be fully present where you are, and let go of whatever isn't serving you or isn't where you are? Can you make the effort to do that? Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted by things that don't serve you. Don't get distracted by shiny objects, whether they are things or ideas or people. Be disciplined. It requires loving yourself, like fiercely loving yourself through tears, through pain, through anguish, through joy, through connection and disconnection. And I'm here to tell you this is hard to do. I'm saying it, and maybe because I'm saying it, you think it's easy for me. It is not. It is not. It is Michelle says, "Staying in your light also empowers you from within." It's true. And there's another thing about being in the light, something that I talk about my mother all the time, and Doris Cole is her name, and she whenever she is somewhere, there's light around her. Like, you feel it, you see it, it's there. This was also true of her mother, Carrie Freeland, who lived to be 101 years old. There was just light around them, and when my grandmother passed away, there were 9 ministers who spoke at her funeral and said that when they would come minister to her in her room, when they stepped over the threshold of her room, they felt like they had entered God's space. That's what it's like with my mom. And so we have our own light, but also there are beings in this world who emanate so much light. And I have learned that when we are feeling diminished, when our light is not bright, we can make the choice to connect with someone whose light is bright, not to become them, but to fellowship with them. Like, hopefully, that's what this is for you. This Dreamleapers inspiration is a fellowship of light. If there are people in your world who you know will lift you up, who will give you a physical hug, a virtual hug, who will support you, love you through whatever it is you're going through in that moment, because their light is bright, that's the person to reach out to. What we often do is to call the complainers, right? Oh, you're not feeling well, you're mad about something, you're hurt about something, you're down about something, you're worried about something, and you call somebody and you fuss and cuss and you're upset and how dare they or whatever, all that negativity. This is what people usually do, complain. What if instead of complaining, you contact someone who you know has a bright light and you fellowship with them? You share the light, and then the light builds and grows. It is a powerful experience. My mother at 95, and she's quite frail right now, you ask her how she's doing, and she will often say, "I'm doing the best with what I've got left." Isn't that beautiful? She is frail. She is 95, but she's not complaining. Stop complaining. That is also a distraction. Look inside and see what your light is telling you. Connect with others whose light is bright. Listen. Be quiet more. Listen. Offer love. Offer healing. Do what you have to do. Don't get distracted. Don't even get distracted by contacting people to be in the light. Feed your spirit and do what you're supposed to do. Do the work. You are worth it, but if you don't do the work, you're gonna be at this point in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, whatever the time is, and go, "How come I didn't get any further?" Carlene says, "Yes." I say yes too. Do the work. Love yourself. Be focused. Put one foot in front of the other. Stop delaying what has to get done. Get it done. Do what you are supposed to do. You will rest better. You will be happier. You will have more peace. Forgive yourself and others for whatever shortcomings we have. That's one of the hardest things to do. Let go of whatever is hurting you. Choose peace. Choose focus. Not easy to do. I am saying this to you as I'm saying it to myself. When you do it and you make that list, I love the list. What am I supposed to be doing? Make the list, check it off, complete your tasks, feel great about yourself at the end of the day because you are accountable. That's what Pamela said. It's about accountability. Indeed, it is. Be accountable to yourself. Don't get distracted, family. When you stay focused and you're fully present, what happens? So let's close with looking at that quote one more time. It's a very simple quote, but I want you to sit with this quote because it says, wherever you are, be all there. Wherever you are, be all there. Don't get distracted. Try it today. Practice it and see what happens. When you find your mind flitting off here and there, bring it back. Take a breath, bring it back. Be all there. You will get more done. You'll feel better about yourself. You will accomplish more. And you can claim peace. It's a beautiful thing. So Sandra says, this is beautiful. I'm so glad I've tuned in. Oh, would you be kind enough and save this live, please? So yes, everybody should know you are engaging this live. It stays online. It doesn't go anywhere. And also it goes out wherever podcasts are available. We realize that we have to upload some because we hadn't uploaded some in a while, but it will be right wherever you are watching it, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, it will stay there. It doesn't go away. Well, LinkedIn, it goes away for a minute, but it'll come right back. And then it also is available through podcasts. And again, if anybody wants to take the 100-day course, you can sign up, go to my website for the 100-day plan, harrietcole.com/100-day plan. It starts in March, and all the details are there. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.